Antifragile, things that gain from disorder. Chapter 1. What is antifragility? By being antifragile, you will not fear random and uncertain events. You won't be afraid to make mistakes or face the unknown. On the contrary, these challenges will benefit you, as they will help you grow and develop. Many things and phenomena, such as economic systems, your body, and your diet, require disruption and variability. For instance, diabetes and many other modern diseases arise due to a lack of randomness in our diet and the absence of stressors like intermittent fasting. If you were to lie in bed for a month without moving, thus suppressing variability, your muscles would atrophy. Similarly, if parents are overly protective of their child, the child will not be able to live independently. Therefore, all complex systems will weaken or perish if they are deprived of stressors. According to legend, Mithridates IV took near-lethal doses of toxic substances, gradually increasing them to develop immunity to poisons, and it worked. Thus, the road to invincibility begins with a small dose of harm. Researchers have found that vegetables are beneficial to us not because they contain vitamins, but because they protect themselves from insects by producing toxic substances. By consuming these substances in moderation, we strengthen our bodies. Therefore, constantly introduce small doses of stress and disorder into your life and the life of your company. By making your life too comfortable, you actually put yourself at risk. The automation of airplanes deprives pilots of the opportunity to solve complex problems, making the flight too comfortable. Due to the lack of complex tasks, the pilot's attention dulls, and his reactions lose sharpness, leading to accidents with human casualties. Pedestrians are more likely to die at regulated crossings than when crossing the street illegally. The lack of physical activity from using elevators and escalators and constantly moving by car guarantees heart problems. In other words, comfort is killing us. An experiment was conducted in the Netherlands where all road signs were removed from the streets. The removal of regulation led to an increase in safety, confirming that attentiveness is antifragile. It sharpens when a person senses danger and responsibility. As a result, many German and Dutch cities have reduced the number of road signs. Black swans are unpredictable and irregular events of enormous scale that have severe consequences. The likelihood of such events is impossible to calculate. For example, we are much less prepared for a flood that happens once in 100 years than for one that happens every 5 years. An event usually occurs precisely when we have something to lose. Antifragility is the antidote to the black swan. You must accept it as something necessary for further development, for history, for technology, and so on. Technology is the offspring of antifragility. It was created by those who were not afraid to take risks and move forward through trial and error. Fragility can be measured. You can assert that if a certain event occurs, one object will suffer more than another. For example, bad weather will affect your grandmother more than you. In an earthquake, buildings not designed for it will collapse much faster than those with the necessary technology. People who deny the need for antifragility are called fragilistas. A fragilista parent overdoes it with care. A fragilista doctor overdoes it with medication and denies the body's natural ability to self-heal. There is a principle of overcompensation. For example, the best horse will come in second if the other horses are slower, but will win if its competitors are strong. It is said that announcers should be loud and, if necessary, dance on stage to capture the audience's attention. But this is not true. The most influential announcers speak more quietly than everyone else. This makes the audience hang on to every word. Or, usually, we try to isolate ourselves to start working. But working in noisy places teaches us to focus. Many writers enjoy writing novels in crowded places like cafes. Or we fall asleep faster when we hear the rustling of leaves or the sound of the ocean rather than in complete silence. There are also two other examples. Attempting to conceal information makes it more significant than trying to spread it to the masses. If you tell someone that some information is top secret, it will quickly start to spread. Banned books attract attention. They are anti-fragile in relation to censorship. Negative reviews from well-known people can, on the contrary, positively impact book sales. And look at how people lose their reputation precisely because they try too hard to maintain it. You can't control reputation. You can't take control of the flow of information. Instead, focus on responding differently. One must also remember interconnections. If you wipe out all the lions, goats will begin to reproduce uncontrollably, and they will gnaw at the roots, causing trees to disappear in mountainous regions. Hunters probably couldn't foresee this outcome. Languages are easier to learn when we overcome obstacles, such as communicating with native speakers as we study. New words are absorbed not through rote memorization, but in the process of conversation when you need to understand what the other person is saying. And a business thrives if it has competitors. The more obstacles you face, the more effectively you move forward. Chapter 2: The New Era and the Denial of Antifragility. Many people fear randomness and strive for stability or fragility. As a result, they cannot adapt if something goes off plan. The main fallacy, which causes the most harm, is that the absence of evidence of an impending catastrophe does not mean we have proven that a catastrophe will not occur. Suppose a butcher has been fattening a turkey for 1,000 days. With each passing day, analysts become more convinced that butchers love turkeys, and their confidence grows day by day. The butcher continues to fatten the turkey until Thanksgiving Day. It is precisely when the confidence that the butcher loves the turkey has reached its peak and the turkey's life seems calm and predictable that an event occurs that completely shatters this theory. This event is called a black swan. Like the two types of people we discussed earlier, a chaotic confederation of municipalities is more stable in the long term than a centralized system because it contains variability. For example, if you remove so-called speculators from the market, who introduce variability into the system and set fixed prices, you create only the illusion of stability. Eventually, a period of calm will be interrupted by sharp fluctuations. Since market participants are not accustomed to variability, the slightest price fluctuation will cause them to panic. Therefore, a small amount of disorder stabilizes the system. Or imagine a person who comes home every day at 6 in the evening. If they are late by 30 minutes due to something unexpected, their family will go crazy thinking they must have died. For the same reasons, stability is not good for the economy. During sustained prosperity, companies forget what failure is and become weaker, so there is nothing good in the absence of crises. Similarly, the absence of fluctuations in the market leads to panic when the market suddenly drops, with people selling stocks for pennies. Regicide is also a kind of random event that leads to a reshuffle that no one would have undertaken voluntarily. Nowadays, various leaders and board members remain in their positions longer, hindering the development of many industries. Stability, therefore, does not work. It is a ticking time bomb. Iatrogenesis is a term used to describe the harm caused by someone who intends to help. For example, some doctors prescribe medication even when it is not needed, causing their patients harm instead of helping them. The most significant iatrogenesis in history was caused by Mao Zedong, who decided to improve the grain harvest by killing sparrows. The birds were supposedly pests, but after their extermination, the grain was eaten by caterpillars and other insects. This led to the Great Chinese Famine, which killed tens of millions of people. In conclusion, everything that exhibits anti-fragility, like the Greek hydra, improves under stress. There are simple rules. 1. Give preference to a high-risk, but small-scale business. 2. Never play roulette, a small probability of large losses. 3. It is better to have 10 opportunities to earn $10,000 each than one chance to earn $100,000. Even in the worst case, your losses will be small. 4. Seize opportunities when they arise, but don't strive for them. 5. Don't forget the principle of overcompensation. We are much stronger than we think. Don't limit yourself to simple tasks. Choose the most difficult ones. By overcoming them, you will grow. This is the end of the summary. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the like button.